Okay, in this video what I want to do is show you how to build an iOS application using table views to be able to open up embedded PDF documents that are embedded inside your app. Okay, so first thing we'll do is open up Xcode, and we're going to select create new Xcode project, and we're going to use the single view application. Next. Oh yeah, we'll call this PDF view. And make sure we have iPhone selected. Hit next. And we will create and save the file to the desktop. And that should be good. Okay, I want to make this bigger so we can all see what we're doing here. Okay, the first thing I like to do is go to my storyboard, and inside the storyboard they'll always have this default view controller. I always delete that because I want to start from scratch. So what am I doing here? I want to create an app that has a table view that will open up different PDF documents. So I already know I'm going to need a table view controller. So I want to slide on a table view controller onto my storyboard. Okay. And the first thing I want to do is go into my document inspector while that's selected there. And I want to make this button here. It says table view content, dynamic prototypes. That's good if you want to be able to dynamically populate your table view cells with data or content. We're not going to do that. We're going to use this as more like a menu. So I want to switch that to static cells. Okay. And then what I also like to do is I like to embed my view controller inside a navigation controller. That way it makes it easier to be able to move around inside your app and open up different views. So I'm going to select editor, embed in, navigation controller, and there we go. Okay. And you can also, when you do that, you have a bar across the top that you can type in, the name of your app or whatever scene you're in. So we'll call it PDF viewer. Okay, keep it simple. Okay, so now that's done. Let's work on our cells here real quick. Before we get going here, I have some files that I've pre-made that I want to drag over into my project here, and I'm going to drag those over into my supporting files. And when you do that, you want to make sure you have this checked here that says copy items into designated groups folder. That way the files are actually in your project and not stored somewhere else where you're just making a reference to it. That way when you compile it, everything's there and it works. Okay, so hit finish. Okay, now what I'll do is click on that first cell, and once you click on the cell, the document inspector comes up, and under style here you want to select that and change it over to basic, and when that happens a little title will come up. Double click on title and you can change it, name it whatever you want. So we're going to name the first one and we'll call it badge. And you can also, if you select back off of it and select it again, underneath that there's an image that you can select from inside your project, and we've already loaded the 3 images in. I'm going to select badge, just like that. I'm going to go to the next one, change it to basic, and we're going to call that one fire. Click the fire button, and again switch it over to basic, change that one to rabbit, select back on it, select the image, select that rabbit. Okay, good enough. let's make sure, let's build this and just see how it looks, make sure we're not missing anything here. I like to do that from time to time just to make sure. You never know. Password. Continue. Okay. There we see our table view. Now, if you click on this, you'll see nothing's happening yet because we haven't really done anything yet. We haven't built anything. So let's do that. Hit stop. Okay. The next thing I want to do, let me make this a little bit bigger here. I want to drag on 3 more view controllers. 1. Slide that up a little bit so we get some room here. 2. And 3. Put that one right there. What we're going to do, we're going to segue over from these table view cells to open up these other documents. So first thing I want to do, let's go ahead and we need some custom classes. So what we need to do is go click on the PDF view folder there, select new file, Objective-C class, and we'll name this one first one badge view controller. And we want to make sure none of these are selected, target for iPad or target. We don't want to make our own nib file because we're going to build everything on Storyboard here, of course. Hit next, and then create. And we'll move that up here. And then right click. We're going to make 2 more files here. And we'll call this one Fire View Controller. Again, make sure none of those buttons are checked. Hit create. And then one more. New file. Objective-C class. We'll call this one Rabbit. Okay. Kind of keep them all together there. Okay. So what we'll do is select that rabbit view controller.h file, and we're going to put a little code in here. What we want to do is we want to create an outlet, and then we need to create a property. So the first thing I'm going to do is create an outlet. It's going to be a UIWebView, and the reason we're doing that, making a UIWebView outlet, is because you need to use a WebView to be able to display a PDF document. And we'll call it WebView. Make a pointer to that. Okay, and then that's how we'll create a property. Property, we'll make it non-atomic and retain. Be outlet UIWebView. Point to our WebView that we're calling WebView. And that's it for the .h file. Pretty simple. Now go over to your .m file, and when you create a property, of course, when you in your .m file, you have to synthesize it. So let's do that. And synthesize WebView. Okay. Now all this code here really didn't mean anything. The one that we're really concerned with is the void viewDidLoad method here. So what we want to do is see this line here. It says do an additional setup. Down below that, we want to write some code here that's going to open up our PDF file inside our WebView. Okay. So just bear with me here. I'm not the best typer. So I'm going to ns string points to path equals double brackets ns bundle space main bundle path for resource. Now our resource is going to be our PDF files that are in our supporting files, and the way you call that is at in parentheses and name your document. Okay, so the first one is going to be rabbits of type, and it's going to be a PDF file. So you just hit the @ sign and then in parentheses type in PDF parentheses, and then we'll end that. Okay. The next line, we need to create a URL and a path to the URL. So we're going to go ns URL equals to ns URL file URL path, and we'll call it path. Now the next line we need to do this ns mutable. I'll tell you what I'm doing here in a second. Let's just get it typed in. We're not going to do an array. We're going to do a URL request here. Request URL set equal to ns mutable request with URL, and we'll just name it URL. Okay, now we just need to tell it to set your web view equal to your URL request, and what that'll do, it'll tell the web view that we are trying to load a PDF file. The URL is going to be inside our supporting files, and then the last line is going to be just to load the web view. Okay, so web view load request. As you can guess, URL request. That should do it. We got a little error there. What's that telling us? Expected. Little syntax error. What's it going on there? Oh, yeah, it's gonna be colon. That should do it. Should clear it up. Yep. Okay. Now, of course, that takes a little bit of time, especially if you're a slow typer like me. So what I like to do is I like to do a lot of copy pasting. So we've got 3 custom classes here. What I want to do is select on the RabbitViewController.h, and everything that's in between the @end and @interface, I want to copy that because we're going to use that inside these other .h files. And you select your FireViewController.h. Just give yourself a little bit of room, paste that in there, and then the same thing in their badgeViewController.h. Give yourself a little bit of room, paste it in there. Okay, all set. Now, and I'm going to do the same thing with .m files. Everything that we just typed in there under the view did load, I'm going to copy that. Go to my .m file, go to view did load, give yourself a little bit of room, paste it in there. The only thing we're going to do different here is going to change the name of the PDF file we're calling. So I want to change rabbit to fire, and then select the badge.m view controller, and again go down to view did load, give yourself a little bit of room, paste that in there, and I'm going to change that over to change rabbit to badge. Okay. Now, one thing we also need to do is go back to, remember in the rabbitViewController.m we had to synthesize that web view. Well, we need to do the same thing for our other two .m files. So we're going to copy that, go to FireViewController.m. Underneath the implementation, you want to paste that synthesized web view in there, and then under .m badge, paste that in there. And you nice if you give yourself a little bit of room, so everything's split out, unlike I did here. Just so you know, you can see everything's working right. There's no errors. You make sure there's no errors, no errors, no errors. Looks good. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to our storyboard here. We need to connect all this stuff up, because if you notice, right here, these outlets, they got these little round circles beside it. When those are connected, they'll be solid. So as you can see, we have done nothing yet. Okay, so let's go to our storyboard. We got these custom view controllers here. So this first one here, this one on the top, we're going to select that, go over to your file inspector, and under custom class here, we want to select that badge view controller. Okay, so we'll slide down that badge view controller, custom class we created. Let's select badge. We did that. And then on the next one, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to select the fire view controller. Fire. And then the bottom one is rabbit. We're going to select the rabbit view controller. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, we got to have a web view to be able to display PDF files. So we're going to drag a few web views onto our view controllers here. Let me find that down at the bottom here. Web view, there we go. Let's slide that on. One there. Let's go one here. And then one here. Okay. Now, let's select that badge view controller again. And let's go to our document inspector. And what we want to do is, we see this web view outlet that we selected here. We need to connect it up. So let's connect it up there. And again, let's go to the fire view controller. Let's connect that up. And then under the rabbit view controller, let's connect that. And then the last thing we need to do is to create our segue between our table view cells and our view controllers here. So what you do, you select the cell, right click on it and drag, and then when you let go, you'll have this little menu comes up, and what we want to do is select the push segue. Okay, and again, when you do that, you see you get the little menu up here. I'm sorry, not a menu, but a bar will pop up, and again, you can double click on it and name it whatever you want. Badge view. Okay, and then we'll select the next one. Fire, right click, drag, drop, select push, and then we'll name that fire view. And then the last one, right click, drag, drop, push segue, and we'll call that WebView. Now, if we have everything connected up, it should run right. So let's go. First thing I'll do is go file save, and then we'll go build. Let's make it under iPhone 4-inch. And let's click on this, make sure they're open up our files. Yep, you see we opened up that badge view PDF file, and you see this little button here. It says PDF viewer back. This is what our navigation controller is doing for us. That's why, remember in the beginning of the app, I embedded this table view controller inside this navigation controller. This is what does that. So for future reference, and then there's our PDF file in our WebView PDF. Now, I created an app called Vehicle Buying Coach. This is the kind of the method I use to do that. You know, I'm like a lot of people out there that has a bundle of wealth of information on certain subjects, and it'd be nice to be able to share it, and you can make money on stuff like that. Your knowledge is worth something to somebody, and one of the best ways to make money on it is to create an app. So that's what I did. It's been working pretty well for me. So I wanted to share how I did that. There's a lot more to the app that I made, but go check it out. It's at vehiclebuyingcoach.com. If this has helped you out, please download it and give me 5 stars if this has helped you, and I'd really appreciate it. Okay, thank you.